Okay, so what I'm getting ready to do here is to make a rose. Yep, there's me and my coffee, gotta have that. But the piece of metal I'm using, I actually cut out of an old dryer that I found at the dump. And I've made these cardboard templates quite a little while ago. And I'm just kind of laying them out here to get somewhat efficient use of the metal. And all I do is I hold that down with a magnet, as you can see, and I mark it with a pencil. And the finish on a dryer or any appliance like that is way too slick to draw a line on with a pencil. So I just sand it real quick, rough it up a little bit. That way the pencil line sticks real good and it doesn't wipe off that easy. It sticks around real good throughout the whole process. Okay, cutting it out's pretty easy to do. It's only 22 gauge metal, even though you'll see me struggling a little bit here. Trying to, cut around these corners, and I'm trying not to destroy all of the metal because I'll want to use more of what's left over. I probably should be wearing gloves in this because it does have some sharp corners and some stickers on it. But we get the job done. Like I was saying, should probably be wearing some gloves there. Found a sharp spot. But about done cutting this out here. And oh, yep, there we go. Always got to have one little sliver that wants to not cooperate. Sure enough. But, there we go. Yep, there it goes. Come on there, you can do it, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And by God, yeah, I did manage to spring a small leak in the finger there. Okay, what I'm doing here is getting ready to punch some holes in these pieces. Need to punch a hole in them to for the stem to go through. When everything goes together, all 4 pieces, get that hole in the center. Puts a little curl on it, so I just flatten that back out. But these other pieces get that same hole in the center, and then I also punch a relief hole in there for when they get cut out. There's a little round hole at the end of that cutout, and that just gives a little room for when I'm forming the petals, gives a little room for the metal to bunch up down there in that dish that's going to get made.
Drifting and drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. I'm drifting and drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. 'Cause I ain't got nobody in this world to care for me. If my baby would only take me back again.
Okay, time to sit down and cut these babies out. You might notice there's some big holes punched in there now. I did that off camera. This is actually the little star looking piece that goes underneath of the whole rose. And just punching them holes out, just a lot easier to do that than it is to try to cut that inside corner. This is another spot I should be wearing gloves because there's a lot of sharp corners here. Yep, there it was, stuck right to my hand. I guess, sometimes art should be painful, like say, and that time it was. That piece of metal stuck to my hand like Velcro. But there's that little piece all done. Well, now you can kind of see what's going to happen here. That'll go to the forge and anvil here shortly and get shaped up.
Drifting and drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. Drifting and drifting, just like a ship out on the sea.
And just a little bit of file work on some of these pieces, get rid of some of the sharp edges and give them their final shape. That little vise was given to me by a fella that found it at the dump. And here I am getting myself sidetracked into rebuilding, fixing up this little vise and kind of restoring it. I didn't show any of that here, but I did go off in that rabbit hole for about an hour. Okay, now it's time to shape these pedals up. So there's actually a lot of work goes into doing one of these. Just putting a little curl on the edges of this outer pedal. And it's a little bit of a hassle. I mean, you could do it cold, but the metal is hot here. You definitely need the tongs to hang on to it. It takes a little while to get through all of them, and you'll see more as we go along here. Okay, nice and hot out of the forge. What I'm doing there is hitting it with the hammer like that makes those pedal sections spread out a little bit, adds a little bit of texture that adds to the final effect when everything's done. And why am I setting that on a stump? Well, you can use these punches I got, and between the heat and the punch and the softness of the wood, you can drive it down into the wood and makes kind of a nice soft curve without a bunch of hammer marks in it. In fact, my video previous to this one, you can actually see me making a stem like that. A little bit of file work and then everything fits on there, and make sure you put your pedals on in the right order there, Matthew. But they all go together here real nice. And then I'll dig around on the bench here in a second. Got some little bitty washers that I put on there too. And then shortly we'll be heading over to the vise to hammer the end of that stem over, just like you're setting a rivet. It's what it looks like when it's done, is it looks like there's a rivet in it. That little tool is just driving everything down nice and tight. And then this fancy looking thing, I can hold everything down tight, and then I smack that punch with a hammer, and it rivets the end of that stem over. Holds everything nice and tight. Now the beginning of the real fiddly part. Just taking this leaf part here, or whatever you call it, starting to curl it down, make it look like it should. Part of it's to get rid of the sharp corners to stop stabbing me. And now we sit here at the bench for quite a while with pliers and tongs and different tools and things, and this part takes quite a while. You just go round and round and round and little tiny bits at a time, and just keep working it. Just keeps working it down, and pretty soon you've got what appears to be a rose.
The gypsy woman told my mother before I was born, you got a boy child coming, gonna be a son of a gun. He gonna make pretty women jump and shout. Then the world wanna know what this all about. But you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. Way down there, hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. I got a black cat bone. I got a mojo too. I got the John the Conqueror. I'm gonna mess with you. I'm gonna make you girls leave me by my hand. Then the world will know that I'm that hoochie coochie man. But you know I'm here. Everybody knows I'm here. Way down that hoochie coochie man. Everybody knows I'm here. All right, Johnny, let's pay you.
Well, there you have it, folks. Rose made out of a dryer. I think it turned out okay, all things considered. It's just the second one I've ever attempted. We'll get better at them. But I'm essentially happy, so thanks everybody.